Hey, Paradise people. It's your girl, Sabrina. I say it's your girl, but I don't think anyone's actually ever met me properly before. But um, my name's Sabrina, and this is the first episode of the Paradise podcast. I'm so excited to be recording this. Actually, it's the second episode. I've already recorded a full episode with my friend, but this is the first one that will be released. And I'm so excited to be doing this because I've been making so many excuses as to why I shouldn't be doing it and why, all these excuses of what I should and shouldn't be doing for Paradise. And at the end of the day, this is something that kept, there was a reoccurring push within me to want to actually start a podcast. So we're doing it and it's so exciting. So basically, this is the intro episode. I'm just going to introduce myself, introduce Paradise, and what the podcast is going to be about. So just like how I will be doing like interviews with anyone that comes on here, I've like written questions for myself to answer. So I am going to be looking to the side to read the questions. So let's get into it. The first one is introduce myself. So my name is Sabrina. I'm from Northwest London and I was born and raised there. I have always lived in Sudbury. I lived away for uni. I went to Leicester for uni and studied financial economics. And I also did a year abroad for uni in France, which was really fun. Born and raised in Northwest London. I am Sri Lankan. My parents are first generation immigrants. I don't know the definitions, but they moved to the UK from Sri Lanka and gave birth to me and my two siblings. And that's my family. And that's a bit about me. I feel like you'll get to know me as the podcast goes on. And if you follow me on any of the other social platforms, then you've probably gotten to know me a bit on there. When did I start Paradise? So I started Paradise. The idea came about in like 2021 when I was in uni. But actually like created the logo and stuff in 2023. So I had the idea when I was in uni because when I was in uni, um, I basically realized that there was some sort of illusion that we were being fed. There was some sort of programming that I had fed into for so long. This was like a reoccurring thought that I got a lot of times. But anyways, I started Paradise in February 2023. It was a brewing idea before that, and it was just like this idea that um, I'm gone off tangent already, bro. Um, okay, when did I start Paradise? I started Paradise in 2023 officially. I created the logo in 2023, and then I also quit my job at that time because I just wasn't feeling fulfilled in that role. And I was doing accounting, and the only way to progress in that role was basically to do ACCA exams or basically get further qualifications, become a chartered accountant. And that just was not the route for me. There was nothing about that I found interesting. It was one of those, this is interesting, but I'm not interested. My manager said that to me the other day, but like I wasn't trying to do that. Honestly, I did just go straight into the first job that came my way after uni related to my degree, which I think a lot of people do. But in that moment, I realized I was drifting. There was no meaning in the decisions I was making. So I had to regain control of that. I was basically like paying invoices and stuff in that role. I was in the finance team. I was in the account, like helping with the accounts, like making sure everything balanced out at the end of the month. And I was also paying invoices. And I realized like I was paying invoices for people that were working like 10 hours a week, but they were getting like 4K a month, like just £4,000 for that 10 hours that they'd worked. And they were self-employed and stuff. And I was like, damn, like I'm working 40 hours a week like times that by 10. No, times that by 4. And I'm literally earning half the amount. So something was up, and I realized if that's the reality for someone else, then that can also be the reality for me if I find out what I really want to do and find out what I'm really good at. So I quit my job at that time, and I knew that I wanted to get into financial advisory. Basically, I wanted to support people with their finances. I wanted people to have a better understanding of their money and how to make the most of their money and stuff. So I quit my job. I didn't know how I was going to do that. But when I quit my job, Paradise basically gave me time to focus on Paradise. So I drew up the logo finally, and I got onto the socials, created the socials, and started posting on there. And this amazing couple that have their own brand called the 90s Theory, they were doing a pop-up, and they're also Sri Lankan. And even doing Paradise, I realized that the first people to support me were people from the Sri Lankan community. And that was eye-opening for me, because I'd never actually really been friends with anyone that was Sri Lankan and mixed with that community much throughout my whole life. It was only once I started Paradise, so that was really interesting. But the 90s Theory were doing a pop-up, which was sick. And I didn't have any stock. I didn't have any product at that time. I didn't even know what I wanted it to be, but I knew that I would set that self as a deadline for me. Like, I wanted to be in that pop-up. So that was my deadline to have my stock ready. And then February, I literally, it sounds rushed. It sounds like I rushed it, but I feel like for me, that was the push. I got the artwork done. I had, like, all these ideas had been there. Do you know what I mean? It was just about taking the action to bring it into real life. So I got the artwork actually created by an amazing artist called Peter. I will put his link and socials in the description bar. I don't know, whatever the fuck. But I will link his socials there, because he deserves all the credit for creating that amazing art. He took his time with it. The story is going wrong. I created the art in uni. I created the art while I was in uni. So the artwork was just sitting there. Anyways, I found a supplier to do the t-shirts and the sweatshirts that I wanted. I took a risk. I did not get any samples. I just bought the stock. So I bought like portions of the stock. I didn't buy like thousands of stock. I bought less than 100 of each piece. And I was ready for the pop-up. I really had no idea what I was doing, but I was there with stock. So for me, that's all that mattered. Met loads of amazing people, connected with so many people. And I guess that I would class that day, because it was in real life. I wouldn't say like starting the page was the start of Paradise. I would say the start of Paradise was that pop-up. And meeting those people in real life and seeing the product in real life and spreading the message through word in real life, I was like, okay, this is real. And like, there's no going back. There's no going back. Um, why did I create Paradise? I guess Paradise was an idea that came to me when I realized the influence of my thoughts in my daily life. It sounds very basic. It sounds like, of course, your thoughts are going to affect your daily life. And also, like, how you feel your day is going to reflect that back to you, kind of thing. But it really, 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 really was something that was ringing in my ear. It sounds very basic, but I realized my thoughts and how I was thinking was shaping my life and actually creating the experience that I was living. I constantly like had this background feeling that I was being scammed. I don't know how to explain it, but there was just this feeling that I was being scammed. That when I hit 18 and I was still studying and I was doing my A levels, I felt like I was being scammed. I was like, what do you mean? Now I have to go to uni. Like, there was a part of me that didn't want to go, but I still went. I still went. That's all me. That's all me. But yeah, I still went. And then when I was in uni, I started uni, and then when I was like first year, literally like the first 2 weeks, I had that mad scamish feeling again. Like obviously I turned 18 and I still had one more year of A level. So I actually went into uni when I was 19. And I had this huge like sunken feeling in my stomach, and I felt like that I was being scammed. I don't know how to explain it. But then I went to my year abroad when I was 20 years old, 21 years old. I turned 21 on that year abroad, of being away from everything that I know from the UK culture, from this society, and leaving. I was in France, I was still in Europe, but I just left. I just left everything I knew. I left my family. I left, everyone that was around me that was influencing my thoughts. So at the end of the day, it goes back to like this influencing of my thoughts and how that was like being reflected in my daily life. That kind of dissolved when I went for that year abroad. And then I feel like I also created that reality because there was something about France that kept calling me. So despite ever knowing that I even wanted to study abroad, I was trying to learn French on my own. I was listening to French music. I kept bumping into French people, watched French movies. I don't know why, but they say like your interests are beyond you. You can't explain why you're interested in something. That interest, I'm literally cross-eyed today, guys, because I am tired. But that interest comes to you beyond your explanation. It's not explainable why you're drawn to something. It's actually something beyond you. So I can't explain. I didn't really have a reason as to why I liked French things. But it led me to and studying in France for a year, all by accident, all by accident. Now I've ended up in France, and obviously it wasn't a coincidence because coincidence doesn't exist. But what happened is in France is when the idea of paradise came about, and I was in control of my own thoughts, consciously living my life and doing what I wanted to do every day, and it was being reflected back to me, and I was like, okay. So I am in control. Like no one else, nothing else. Like it's actually me. Um, since then, I've learned so much. I've learned so much, and I have to give all credit to the one, the only, that has been watching over me every single step of this journey, has been watching over me and has been leading the path and directing me this whole time. So all credit goes to the Most High. But yeah, like we are actually in control of how we want to perceive our reality. So that is sums up paradise. Like life is actually amazing. Life is beautiful, and that's what I have to say about that. And that's why I created Paradise, because I wanted other people. I wanted to spread that message, basically, that we are actually in control, and for us to stop being controlled and to actually think for ourselves. I have some notes here that I want to read for this question. So I realized that there was a programming happening within all of us that seemed to be against our natural nature. I felt like I was being scammed at uni into this program of school, degree, work, marriage, etc., etc. I don't want to sound like a victim, and a lot of people are very happy with that, with pursuing that life. And for some people that is their paradise, but it isn't for me. Um, there's a book called Outwitting the Devil that really breaks this down and calls it drifting through life as what you think you should be doing. But what you think you should be doing is being thought up for you by society. So drifting through life without real purpose or without real mission or real meaning, which we all have. Like we all have a purpose, we all have meaning. Because yeah, like if you look around you, wherever you are sitting right now watching this, if you look around you, like everything that is around you has a purpose. This notebook has a purpose. This water bottle has a purpose. This remote control has a purpose, right? So how could I not have a purpose? How could you not have a purpose? Like It doesn't make sense. We all have a purpose for sure. So, going back to Paradise, I was just thinking, like, you got to just jump and take a risk to follow that inner push feeling of whatever you want to call it. And suddenly it's just like you're alive, you're alive. And you feel like you're in paradise basically when you're alive and just no longer in survival mode. It's not, I don't want to make out that paradise is like wishy-washy and rainbows and roses, because it's not. Paradise is very much ups and downs. With this perception though, you appreciate even the downs, is what I'm saying. But next question is, what is the purpose of paradise? And the purpose of paradise is because I want to create a community. I want to create like a collective consciousness. Because how do I explain this without people thinking, I don't know, it doesn't matter what people think. If you get it, you get it. But I want to create a collective consciousness of people thinking positively and believing in themselves. And the more people that think like that, the more this reality that everyone is living in can shift, and we can get out of wars. We can actually have world peace, because it all starts in here. And yeah, what is the purpose of paradise? It's like, I read somewhere that the biggest delusion in mankind is that we think that we're all separate, which is not the case. So I wanted to create a community basically to share ideas and encourage each other and get out of the competitive mindset. The purpose of this podcast is I want to have real conversations and overcome fears. I don't want to say anything that is still in the works. There are things in the works, guys, and I don't want to really talk about that until it's further down the line. But this is actually happening right now. This podcast is actually happening right now. I'm actually taking the time out to work on this and to spread this message. So basically, I want to encourage people to get out of the competition trap that has been programmed in us, and this illusion that we're all separate, and to go into the creative mind. I'm making it worse by doing these things, but go into the creative mind where me doing better means the person next to me is doing better, and me like expressing myself and doing what I feel like I should be doing, and doing me, I guess, and following my path means that the whole world is going to benefit from that, basically. And I think every single person has a purpose. And I want to encourage people through these podcasts, whether it just comes through with a bit of inspiration or sparks, like plants a seed, or, is relatable. I want people to deprogram, basically. I want people to deprogram. I want people to be true to themselves and live the life that is truly meant for them, rather than the programmed version of, you need to have this by this age, and you need to have that by that age, and live in life controlled by fear. Like, I'm not on that. And I don't want anyone else to be on that either. Even though I say this though, like, I still get sucked back into that sometimes, which is why this is even created for me. One mind, one body. I mean that, like, we are not separate. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I feel like I spoke a lot. 21 minutes is crazy. So I'm probably gonna edit this a lot, but yeah, that's a summary of Paradise. This is the intro episode, guys. I am super excited for where this is gonna go, and what's to come. And basically, the first series that we're going to do with Paradice Podcast is going to be called Money Talks. I'm going to be having conversations around money, illusion, and all of that. I guess that's one of my passions, and that is part of my mission too. So, yeah, disassociating with the illusions of money, basically, and using it as a tool is what I want the first series to be about. So it's called Money Talk. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, it's going to be exciting, guys. Peace.